So we're here with Arnie Gunderson, Chief Engineer of Fairewinds Associates, and Arnie's here to talk to us a little bit about the current status of the Fukushima plant in Japan. So where does it sit now?
Well, it's March 17th, and they have tried unsuccessfully to dump water on the reactor through helicopters. And then separately, though, they've also tried to shoot water in through the side. Most of those mitigators were unsuccessful. As I understand it, the hoses were forced to withdraw because they were getting too high a radiation exposure. Apparently on Unit 3 they were able to get some water in because they saw lots of steam going out. The steam is not a good sign. It means there's a hole in the containment and radiation is leaking out, and lots of radiation is leaking out. But yet, given the alternative, they have to get water in that core. The fuel pool on Unit 4 is still dry, and that would act like a giant X-ray machine. The site will be exposed to X-rays because the water in that fuel pool was designed to cool it down.
How is this site currently being monitored for radiation?
Well, there's three kinds of radiation. The first kind is gamma rays, and that's what the dosimeters use that the employees are wearing and that people in the public are reading. You know, a Geiger counter measures gamma rays. And they pass right through your clothing, they pass right through the protective clothing on these people, and that's the easiest form of radiation to measure. And at least for the people on site, it's the most damaging because it's such a high gamma ray background. The other two forms, though, are dangerous for other reasons. There's things called beta particles and alpha particles. And those can't pass through your skin. So if they're outside you floating by and they decay, nothing's going to happen. But if you inhale it, or if you eat it, or it touches your skin and it works its way through your skin, now they're under the skin and they're up against an organ and can do extraordinary damage in comparison to a gamma ray. So the gamma rays are bad from the outside and you can't stop them. But when you see these guys in the bubble suits working in that environment with their respirators on, that's not designed to protect gamma rays. That's designed to keep them from breathing in the alpha and the beta particles.
So we talk about the radioactive particles and the gamma rays. How would someone who's exposed to what? Is someone in the city of Tokyo potentially exposed to gamma rays or particles?
When people in Tokyo have radiation detectors and they'll see peaks in gamma rays, and what that means is that a cloud of radioactive xenon and krypton has come over the city, and those gases emit gamma rays. But it's not measuring things like the cesium or the iodine or the strontium that also may be in that cloud. If it bumps up against the detector, those particles won't be measured because they can't get through the detector. But they are breathing them in, and so there is an inhalation exposure, and there could be, on their tongue or on their skin. That's why they're telling people to wash their clothes, and when you go outside, make sure you wash afterward.
I think many people want to know, how does this all end?
It's not something you can flick a switch and end. These reactors will be radioactive and hot, physically hot, for years. So when they squirt water in, steam is going to come out because now the containment has a hole in it. And that steam is also going to carry radioactivity because the fuel is damaged. So when they turn on the pumps and begin to cool this reactor, if they can, that will be an important step forward, but it's not going to stop the radiation from coming out. The hole in that containment will continue to leak radiation until they fix the hole, and I have no clue how you do that.
Well, what is it going to take, Arnie Gunderson, to clean this all up?
I think the best example is Chernobyl. Chernobyl is not cleaned up, but what they did was they put a concrete building around the concrete building. They call it a sarcophagus. And it's designed to stay there for tens, if not hundreds of years to prevent this radiation from going anywhere else. That could easily be, for a site like this, tens of billions of dollars with a B. Ultimately, it will, a clean nuclear plant like Oyster Creek or Vermont Yankee or Pilgrim costs about $750 million to clean up. But a dirty plant like 3 Mile Island costs billions, and there's 6 dirty plants. So ultimately, when they get in and remove those plants, it's probably a $20 billion proposition to remove those 6 plants after they've been stabilized. And the stabilization could easily be a $10 billion problem.
All right. Ernie Gunderson, Fairewinds Associates, thank you.
You're welcome.